Dead turkey. Hi, I'm Andy Hamilton with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. I'm a training and development specialist, and part of my job is teaching people how to get into hunting and fishing. And so today we're going to be going a little bit on first steps of how to get your shotgun ready for turkey season. First thing we'll kind of go over is what type of shotgun you're going to be looking for to get out in the field with. And to be perfectly honest, it really doesn't matter in terms of the action or the gauge itself. The most common out there for turkey hunting is probably going to be a 12 gauge, and also the most common action type is probably going to be a semi-auto, but that doesn't mean you have to have those. So you can, if I'm going out and purchasing a firearm, this is the first one I'm going after is going to be turkey. I actually am probably going to go get a shotgun that's going to do a little bit of everything, so that way I can use that when it comes to waterfowl or upland later in the year. So for that, I would probably choose a semi-auto. When it comes to gauges, this day and age, 20 gauge versus 12 gauge, it really doesn't matter. There's pros and cons to both. One's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit less recoil. The other one's going to actually pack a little bit more punch, also pack a little bit more recoil. But in terms of that, it's just whatever you find that you want to use for your specific hunting application, go with that. It can be a brake action, it can be a pump action, it can be a semi-auto. All right, so once you've picked out your shotgun, next thing, let's say gearing it towards actually getting out there turkey hunting. So the next thing that I'm going to look at is what type of sight am I going to use to be able to actually aim my shotgun. So a normal shotgun is probably just going to come looking just like this and only have a single bead at the end. But what you can do is you can purchase something like this. These are just a couple Allen screws that will clamp this right on top of that ventilated rib on top of the shotgun, and then you actually have a rear aperture and front sight post. And so it's going to allow you to actually sight in your shotgun a little bit better. But you don't have to have those. You can still go with just having that front bead, but the next part when we get into talking about patterning and sighting in is where it's going to be real important that you do that and follow the proper steps so that you can make an accurate shot in the field. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is chokes. So for turkey hunting, you want to have actually a really tight choke. And so what I mean by chokes, it's going to be the restriction at the end of the barrel. So different shotguns are going to come, especially like modern shotguns. If you purchase it, it'll probably come with a variety of chokes, probably an improved cylinder, a modified, and a full. So for turkey hunting, you want to lean more towards that full side of your turkey choke. And what that does is as your shot goes through the barrel, it's going to restrict it or open up. And basically what it's doing is it's going to change the rate of spread of those pellets coming out of that shotgun. So keeping a little bit tighter pattern or tighter group is going to allow you to reach out there a little bit further and actually hit the turkey and basically take down your target a little bit better. So when it comes to choke specifically for turkey, this would be essentially a stock choke. This is this one's rated for steel, and it is a full choke for this Franke, but at the same time you can go out and buy specific turkey chokes. So a specific turkey choke is actually probably going to be a little bit beyond just full. It's going to be even a little bit tighter than what your full is, but again, this will work just as much as you want to, especially getting out of there that first season, getting everything used to it. You don't have to go out and purchase that other thing. It's just another thing that maybe improves your odds a little bit better. And we'll talk about it a little bit and even demonstrate a little bit more here of how the two different chokes change the rate of spread out there on the targets at different ranges. So within that, now putting all this together and actually applying it to the field and getting into what we call patterning. So I like to think of this a little bit as an equation or some type of formula. So the three parts of your formula is going to be your shotgun, your choke, and your shell. All right, so if you change any part of that formula, obviously the outcome is going to be a little bit different. And we're trying to get the right combination for your specific hunting scenario, or whether really we want the best pattern out there at the particular distance that you're going to be hitting. All right, so now that you've decided on what shotgun, what choke, it's time to decide on which shell is going to work best with that shotgun. And so the way we do that is a process called patterning. And what we're going to demonstrate to you today is really a simplified version of that. So first we're going to have a target set up at 15 yards. This is just a sight end target. So it's basically getting our accuracy dialed in before we start reaching out to the different distances. So once we have our accuracy nailed down, whether that's by adjusting our sights or the Kentucky windage with the single bead, we'll put out a turkey target at 20 yards and a turkey target at 40 yards. We're going to take a shot with them with the first shell, go out, put out new targets at 20 and 40, and then shoot at them with the other shell. And so what we're doing is we're trying to find out which one of these two shells patterns the best at those distances that we're going to be hunting at. All right, so Carla just finished patterning all of these shotguns and combination of ammos and chokes. So we'll go over some of the results here. So first we had the Remington with the same choke. So this is an actual turkey choke in the Remington, and we were using the Kent ammunition, and so this is the result. So this was the 20-yard shot, and this was the 40-yard shot. So then for comparison, we used the Franke, same ammunition, same Kent, and the same choke, just actually made for the Franke. So the only difference in this was the shotgun itself, and you can see here the results. The Remington actually likes that ammunition a little bit better. So it basically had a better pattern at both these distances than the Franke did. So now to kind of keep something the same, so same shotgun, the Franke, same turkey choke with and all we did next was change out the ammo. So this was Kent ammo here at 20 yards. This is Winchester ammunition at 20 yards. And you can see the Franke likes the Winchester a little bit better than it does the Kent. And so, but the real tell here is at 40 yards, you can see the pattern at 40 yards versus the pattern at 40 yards here. So again, the Winchester ammunition had a better pattern than the Kent ammunition did. All right, so let's talk about what we need to actually set up if we're going out and patterning our shotguns. So really is all you really need is, it could just be a piece of butcher paper or a piece of cardboard. You can just use a Sharpie and put a black dot in there, just something to aim at. That way you're getting essentially the center, or as close as you can get to the center of your pattern. Another tool that kind of helps out a little bit are these splatter targets. All right, so what these are is anywhere a pellet actually goes into this target, it shows up. It's essentially, you can scratch it off and it has color behind the black, so it's going to show you a little bit better of without having to get a Sharpie and count on cardboard or a piece of paper. It shows you a little bit better like what your pattern's at. The other thing is, well, your shotgun itself, but if you don't have different chokes to switch out, definitely come out with a few different types of ammunition. Again, you're going to take a shot with every different type of ammo at 20 and at 40, so that you can kind of compare all those differences. The biggest tell is going to probably be at that further distance. So like if you have 40 yards, you're going to compare all the 40-yard targets and just have that ammunition be the one part of the formula that you change up. When you're setting up out there in a field or in a range, again, make sure you have a good backstop or just follow the proper safety protocols. But all you really need is 2 stakes, drive them in the ground, put a piece of cardboard up, and we'll walk you through and kind of show you what our setup was like today. All right, so we're just kind of showing you how we had everything set up today. So our first target is out here at 20 yards. We just have 2 posts. You can have them just where you're driving them into the ground with these points, but we have these stands that actually hold up these, 1x2s? Yep. You can just use butcher paper or a piece of random piece of cardboard that we have. We even have these stick-on dots. It's the same material as the other targets are made out of. So wherever you hit, it basically will kind of just show you where it is, just giving us a point to actually aim at. And then just some kind of cardboard backing to actually have those targets adhere to. Something with a little bit of rigidity, give it some stiffness so it's not blowing in the wind. So same setup here at 20, we have the same setup out there at 40 as well.